this is Faith at Faith and Books. How are you? This is going to be my March plans, my TBR, but also my plans for participating in different reading challenges, and also my Lenten plans, because I'm going to try and pull back from being so dependent on the internet, being so involved with all things on the internet, and that involves pulling back from stuff like BookTube and Instagram and that sort of thing. So I wanted to participate in all 4 reading challenges that I am aware of going on. So there's March of the Mammoth, and then there's March Mystery Madness, and then there's Middle Grade March, and then there's the Irish reading challenge. And I had been thinking about this stuff, and then I saw Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading talking about how she was doing it. I had actually been strategizing how to do this. And so I've come up with a plan, but at the same time, I'm pulling back from the internet. So the way I had to actually write out like how I was going to extract myself from being so consumed by the internet. It's really bad. I'm in such a bad habit of just scrolling mindlessly, and I walk around with my phone in my hand like it should be just sewn, attached to my hands, because I'm carrying it so much. And I just need to pull back because I need to focus on other things during Lent, right? So I'm practicing Roman Catholic, so Lent is a big deal, and it should involve some sort of self-discipline, and that's what I want to do. So my overall theme is no mindless scrolling and no mindless just watching video after video, that kind of thing. It has to be intentional. Whenever I use the internet, it has to be for a specific reason, for a specific duration. So now Sundays are free. Sundays are not included in the 40 days of Lent. And Lent starts on Wednesday, which I think is March 2nd or 3rd. I forget what day, but it's whatever the first Wednesday in March is Ash Wednesday, and that's when it starts. So no mindless scrolling, and whenever I do get on the internet, it has to be for a specific purpose, for a specific amount of time. So I want to tell you about the other stuff. I'll just talk about the parts of the internet that are related to BookTube or to reading. I'm on, of course, BookTube, and I've been mostly putting up videos on Sundays, so that's what I'm going to continue to do. I will just upload one video once a week on Sundays. I also am involved in Voxer groups, and that I'm going to cut way back on that. Or not way back, it's not like I'm consumed by it, but I am going to cut back and only get on certain Voxer groups on Sundays. Instagram is going to be the biggest thing. I scroll through so many things on Instagram, not just book related, but just lots of other stuff that I like to look at. And I'm going to make Instagram Sundays only. So that means me uploading pictures and looking through Instagram. And then I haven't been involved in Discord, the Discord, platform where you can go and discuss literature. I did it a long time ago. I was involved a long time ago with, I think, when we were reading the Brothers Karamazov, and just a little bit for the Presidential Book Challenge, which I have not kept up with, but I didn't stick with it. But there's a reason why I'm bringing that up too. So there are 4 challenges going on. March of the Mammoth. For March of the Mammoth, I am in a reading group, which is on Voxer, of Don Quixote. I still haven't gotten the Edith Grossman translation. This is the Tobias Smollett, and I'm really intimidated by trying to read that print. But I am mostly relying on LibriVox, which is also internet, and I'm not giving that up. But I'm going to listen to Don Quixote on LibriVox and maybe read along portions. If I need the Edith Grossman translation, which is the one that I wish I had instead of this one, I think I'm going to go to the library and try to get it out of the library. I haven't gotten around to buying it. I don't know if I want to buy. How many versions of Don Quixote do I need? I mean, I'd have to give this away, and it seems wasteful. So I'm just going to try the library. But anyways, Don Quixote is my March of the Mammoth, so I'm going to still participate in that Voxer group during the week. I'm making that an exception to my fast because it's March of the Mammoth and they're going to be discussing stuff. And this is a complicated, funny, interesting book. And I don't want to give that up. I want to have an enjoyable reading experience of Don Quixote with this group. And so that's going to be an exception. I'm not going to pull back from that Voxer group. And I'm also not going to pull back on the Voxer group for the City of God, which I am the host. And so I'm still going to be on that during the week too. But the other ones like Read Along Most Victorian, which is probably the one I'm the most active in, that can wait till Sundays. The Palliser one I haven't really been that active in. And there is the Humorous Book of the Month Club, but that isn't that active a group, and I could just chime in on Sundays reading that book. So I think that'll be okay. So that's how I'm cutting back on Voxer. Okay, so and I'm sorry, am I making sense? I don't know if I'm making sense. This is Don Quixote. That was March of the Mammoth. Then the second challenge is March Mystery Madness. So for that one, I'm going to read the second Agatha Christie publication on Miss Marple. So the challenge for March Mystery Madness this year is 2 by 2. It has to have something to do with the number 2 or a play on the number 2. So I'm interested in Miss Marple, and this is the second publication, so that's 2. It was originally published, The 13 Problems. It was a collection of basically 13 short stories called The 13 Problems. 13 has a double E in it. You can even go there if you want to get your 2 for the 2 by 2 theme. It was published in 1932. It's also been republished twice in the United States by 2 different names. So the one I downloaded is Death by Drowning, and then there was some other name they gave it because I just finished reading her autobiography, and she actually mentions that in America they renamed the book, but it was different from Death by Drowning. I can't remember what the name was, but anyway, it's had 2 different titles in America. So there's lots of 2s there. So that's what I'm going to read for March Mystery Madness. And then for the next challenge is Middle Grade March. And for that one, I'm going to read this book, which I gave my daughter the Christmas before this last one. I can't remember, but it's The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter. It sounds really fascinating. It's by Theodora Goss. It won the Nebula finalist. Anyway, listen to this. It sounds so interesting. Mary Jekyll, alone and penniless following her parents' death, quickly finds herself drawn into the secrets of her father's mysterious past. A clue leads her to believe that Edward Hyde, her father's former friend and a murderer, may be nearby, and there still is a reward for information leading to his capture, a reward that would solve all of her immediate financial woes. But her hunt leads her not to Edward Hyde, but to Diana, his daughter, a near feral child left to be raised by nuns. That cracks me up. With the assistance of Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, Mary continues her search for the elusive Hyde and soon gathers around her more women, all of whom have been created through terrifying experimentation. Beatrice Rappaccini, I think that's from a short story by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Catherine Moreau, I think that's The Island of Dr. Moreau, and Justine Frankenstein. When their investigations lead them to the discovery of a secret society of immoral and power-crazed scientists, the horrors of their past soon arrive on their doorstep as well. And now it is up to the 5 of them to stop the malicious machinations of the Société des Alchimistes. Quite simply, it is time for the monsters to triumph over the monstrous. Anyway, that has lots of elements of mystery in it. And it's a middle grade book, so it sort of overlaps. And it's got an orphan in it. That's one of the prompts for middle grade March has to deal with orphans. And yes, this has an orphan. So this just seems like the perfect book to read this March. And then Janelle at Too Fond of Books, which I couldn't remember the name of her channel a couple of videos ago, but it's Too Fond of Books, and it's Janelle. And she is doing a read along with the book The Breaking Point by Mary Roberts Reinhardt. And I really like Mary Roberts Reinhardt, and I read that book maybe 8-10 years ago. And so maybe not that long, 7-8 years ago. Anyway, I want to read it, but she's doing it, I think it's starting March 13th or something. It's the last 2 weeks of March. She's having a read along. I want to join in, but she's doing it on Discord. So I don't feel like I can add that in at this point when I really want to curtail my internet dependence. So I'm just going to try to get on Discord on Sundays, those 2 Sundays of those 2 weeks, and I can chat about it then. But I would like to reread that if I have time. So I'm not doing too much for March, really, because it's Don Quixote, which is a reread for me. Just a collection of stories about Miss Marple, a middle grade level book, and then The Breaking Point. So, neither of the mysteries seem very heavy. I know they're not very heavy, and this is a middle grade book, so it's probably going to be a quicker read. So I don't feel like I'm overburdening myself during March, and hopefully I'll really be able to cut back my internet habits. I am, still going to participate in the Zoom City of God meeting, which I host, and that's only once during the month. And then I might have some other Zoom things that have to deal with other parts of my life. But the point is to be intentional and really cut back. And it's going to be very sacrificial on my part because I really mindlessly scroll. Can you hear the wind? The wind is really whipping up outside. I don't know if you can hear that. Anyway, well, and this is a March TBR, right? So March is supposed to be the windy month. All right, so I think that's it from me. I can't think of anything else. I hope I was clear. Oh, I forgot to say the 4th challenge, the Irish read along. So I'm not doing any of those prompts that they're, you know what, I'll try to link to each. I'll link each announcement video that I watch for each of these challenges. But the Irish one is to read something, in the month of March that's by an Irish writer. And my choice is not anything that really goes with any of their prompts, but it's the some experiences of an Irish RM by Somerville and the name just flew out of my head. Somerville and Ross. Yeah, I think that's it. So 2 women wrote these stories, and the BBC series, the Irish RM, was based on it. I don't know if you remember that. It was like 80s, 90s. And that's another reread. But it's funny. It's really funny. And so I think for the Humorous Book of the Month Club, we're going to read that one. Now, I'm still going to just get on Sundays, I think, to talk about it because that's a pretty quiet group and we don't read it, everyone just picks up the book when they get a chance to sometime during that month and then comments on it. So it's not, I think it'll be okay to just relegate conversing about that book on Sundays on Voxer. So my Sundays are going to be very internet heavy, but of course, other things in life, going on in life, are going to naturally limit how much I can get on. So I'm just not going to be participating that much in BookTube, even as I'm involved in 4 different reading challenges. So we'll see how it goes. So, all right, well, I think that's it from me, and I hope you're doing well, and happy reading. Bye.